Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Welcome, everybody. Azrael, do you need us to buy any time given your...
No, actually, I think I'm good.
Alright. Rise of the Everchosen tonight. Excited for that. Let's get to it with Nathan.
Alright, well, if you like our specific brand of chaos as much as we enjoy playing it, give us a like and follow. And if you want to find out more, scroll down below. You'll find links to our Discord and YouTube, and Azrael's TikTok, and Booty's Twitch. On our YouTube, we put up replays of videos, usually 2 days after the session, and we're getting into YouTube Shorts. On Azrael's TikTok, he does a lot of D&D shorts, and he's expanding outward, so go check them out. They're all pretty great. On Booty's Twitch, he does a variety of things, and he's always really fun to hang out with. And in our Discord, it's open to everybody. Come in, join us, and hang out. We're open for hanging out in our voice chats and talking with all of you, or if you just want to see what everybody is up to and lurk, that's great too. And we have our games Sunday every week, every other Tuesday, and every Wednesday. And I believe that's it. Back to you.
I don't have anything, so Azrael, the keys to the kingdom are yours.
Well, the keys to the kingdom are to whoever would like to do a recap first.
I can do it.
Well, fuck you two.
Basically. Oh, did you want to do it?
I mean, it sounded like she wanted to. She got her sleeves rolled up.
just rained on my parade.
The Neverchosen finally get to Al Haik. We get taken to Archibald Fairchild's warehouse in his office building, and he has a direct meeting with Ezekiel. And there, Ezekiel learns something very disturbing. Basically, that Archibald, while wasn't intending to kill his parents, murdered his parents in order to scare them, at the same time doing that at the behest of Ezekiel's patron, the Queen of Light and Darkness. I think that's her name.
Aaron Darkness, yeah.
Aaron Darkness. An archfey from the Feywild. So basically all of Ezekiel's life has been set up for him to become a vassal to the Queen of Air and Darkness. She did everything to him so that it gets him to this point. We leave, we discuss what we're going to do, things we can do. We discuss our plans for gathering information on the on heading east to the place I forget the name of.
Emery.
Where that's filled with undead and vampires and evil things. And as we are going to bed, Ezekiel decides now's the time to run off into an alley, chop off his arm, and he's just coming back to the tavern where we're going to learn what he did, probably. And I promise to react in a very violent manner.
What? That's crazy.
Okay, so, yeah, Ezekiel, you come back inside and you kind of dripping blood all over the place because yes, you managed to tourniquet your arm, but that's not 100% sealed. So, before we really kick things off, I do want one more Constitution saving throw from you.
That's good, that's good. Let's see what we can do. Not bad.
Okay. So you're making your way up the stairs, and your vision swims a bit. You kind of grab onto the... Or you... Which hand did you put the bracelet on? Which hand did you cut off? I don't think we ever actually discussed that.
I always pictured it on my left hand.
Okay. Is Zeke... I'm assuming Zeke is right-handed?
Zeke is right-handed.
Okay. Yes, then if it's on your left hand, you're able to reach out and grab the banister to kind of support yourself. You drag yourself up the last few steps, and you are in front of all of the rooms.
We're on the splash screen still.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm clearly on the taverns and brought you all with me.
And I know that Cardinal and Othera were in the center room, if I remember right.
Yes.
So if I go up to the door, is it locked? Did they lock it before they went to bed?
I think I just laid down and went to bed.
I'm gonna try the
I feel like I would. I feel like I would lock the door. Are you kidding? First
There you
line of
go.
defense.
Okay. I am going to pound on the door. Cardinal! Cardinal! I need your help.
Gods.
I'm gonna hold my arm up, minus the hand, to try to, elevate.
Do you have your hand in your other hand? Where'd you put the hand?
The hand's in my backpack.
In his back pocket.
What
Oh, you said
do?
backpack? I thought you said
Yeah.
back pocket.
Backpack.
Knocking on the door with his other hand. No.
What the?
Listen, we can talk about what happened later. The bleeding won't stop.
Othera, I'm gonna need your help. Get up.
Ah.
Get up.
I get up and I come over and I grab him by the scruff of the neck and push him in the room. He is not allowed to sit on my bed though.
No, he's sitting on the floor. Fuck. What do I do? I'm gonna try just a cure wounds first to see if that stops the bleeding. This is gonna hurt.
Okay, what level?
Put it at a 3rd.
How much health was I down at? I'm at full health for some reason.
We didn't actually apply damage to it.
Okay.
I'm basically just gonna grab the stump, and you're gonna feel like a sort of cauterizing, flame-like warmth as I try and seal that with 27 healing.
Okay, so yeah, with 27, you slow the blood loss down to a bare trickle. Like, it's more seeping out of the wound. Like, it's not fully closed, but it's not like... You're not worried for his life anymore. And the torn flesh just kind of like knits itself together, and like it's... You've got your hand over it, so you feel it more than anyone can see it. But it almost feels like the skin is reaching to connect where the hand should be, and then folds back in on itself. And you're feeling this. It's a very disconcerting sensation under your hand before you finally pull it away and you see the effects of your healing.
It should stop most of the bleeding for now.
That's a
I can't
really
grow back
ragged
hands.
cut too. Like, what did you use to cut your hand off?
Dagger?
Why didn't you just ask me to cut your hand off? It would have been easier to...
The thought crossed my mind, but everybody seemed to want to wait to get the bracelet off.
And your idea was to go outside, and do it yourself.
With a dagger.
You know, when you say it, it sounds kind of stupid, huh?
Othira,
Ezekiel,
I'm
the
gonna kill him.
reason we said to wait was not because we weren't going to help you take it off. It was so that if you broke it, the connection between you and the asshole, we weren't still in the city, so the asshole could get the whole city to attack us.
I don't think he'll attack us.
You don't
Well-
think he'll attack us? I don't put a lot of credit in your thinking right now, Ezekiel.
Okay, first things first, and I hold up a nub as I try to hold up a finger. If he's working for my patron, which he is, and we're tasked with doing this mission, I don't think he can take outright action against me right now like that. He can make my life hell in other ways, but I don't think he can just attack us.
I don't even. He might die in his sleep. The bleeding's not fully stopped. I don't know what to do.
We could burn it. If you cauterize it, it'll stop the bleeding.
Well, among other things. Do we have something to do that with?
That's a good question.
I know somebody who can create bonfire. Hold on.
Yeah, he's a heavy sleeper.
You have a better idea?
I have a torch and a tinderbox. I can light my torch and shove his hand in it. Well, stump.
Do you have a sword or something?
I have a spear. I have a maul. I have a javelin, and then I have my great axe.
Maybe a great axe. Use it as a flat surface to cauterize. Just all at once.
We could do that too.
Yep. I'm gonna click the immovable rod in place, and then I'm gonna tie your arm to it so it's immobilized. And me and Othira get to work.
We might want to wait for the DM to come back to find out.
What is going on?
If that, yeah.
I mean, if you can wake me up, I can do more healing and stuff.
If it makes
I
you
got the healing part covered.
if it makes you feel any better, I did send a message to my patron through Toot Toot to let her know that I am still operating underneath her, so we don't have that level of injustice coming against us.
So
Deep
we do
breaths.
know she's not very rational when it comes to your messages, right?
Okay, let's just do this first, and then I can kill Ezekiel after this. How much did you
Because
hear?
DM, the stump is still bleeding a little bit, or is it fully healed?
It's slowing down, like it's a bear trickle.
Okay, we are going to heat up my great axe and cauterize it.
Okay.
I basically tied his stump to the immovable rod, so it's immobilized, and then just fucking one shot
Yep.
this.
We're gonna take a torch, heat up my great axe, which is probably pretty prone to being heated up because of where it's from, until it's a glowing, fiery ember, and then I'm going to place it on his bleeding stump and cauterize the wound.
Okay.
I will bite into my belt while they do this.
Okay.
I am going to enjoy the scent of burning flesh. I've missed
I'm
it.
gonna try not to throw up.
Okay, so The initial moment the axe touches your stump, you get a very like that searing pain, and you're biting down for all you're worth, but even you can't hold back that like just primordial like shriek coming from the middle of your chest. So as the axe burns you, you're gonna take 5 fire damage.
It's not bad.
Okay.
And because the smell of the burning flesh is so reminiscent of her home, Othira holds the axe for just a little bit longer than a sane person would. You take an extra 3 damage. And then I want you to roll a Constitution save for me at disadvantage.
Okay.
Caligar wakes up.
It's a
Who's
4.
cooking bacon?
So once Othira finally pulls
burning
the axe
bacon?
away, you're looking at the axe and you're watching as there's like this kind of like stringy connectivity between the blade of the axe and your wrist, and you realize you don't feel that because the nerve endings have all been literally fried. But what you're seeing is the flesh had gotten so heated that it actually stuck to the blade and pulled away some of the scabbing. And as that clicks in, you can't even control yourself. You fall to your knees and immediately start vomiting. As both a disgust and like the shock is starting to settle in.
It's just uncalled for.
Oh god. This is fine. I'm gonna go for another cure wounds. After that's done, just to seal it up.
Cardinal,
It's fine.
I don't feel
It's
so
fine.
good.
You're great. You're great. This is what you deserve. You earned this.
Out of curiosity, how loud was he? Because you did say like the walls here are like thin, right?
Oh, you heard him shrieking. It wasn't like you know you see in movies where like they cauterize the wound and they're like, "Urgh." No, like he's full on screaming while biting down.
Yeah, I think at that point even Caligar would wake up because that's a different level than just nudge 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 nudge.
Uh-huh.
So hearing somebody start, screaming their head off, first off, I'd jump out of bed, look around, make sure Furley's okay, and then dash out of the door and try to find the screaming.
At that point, you
What?
probably hear like, well, that was just uncalled for.
Tobias comes out at the same time.
Right, yeah. So I'll look down the hallway as I'm walking towards Tobias and just, what was that?
And like as you're walking down from the stairs, like you're seeing there's a steady trail of blood droplets on the floor that leads right to Cardinal's door. Then where someone would be standing, there's a little bit of a pool there.
Seeing that, I'm not even gonna knock. I'm bursting this door open if it's in my way. Does that is Ezekiel right on the other side? Is this an open or a pulled or a push?
I'd say he's far enough in that the door swings open without actually like hitting him.
Okay. It just happened.
And he's sitting there on his knees with his arm hanging, with a pile of vomit on the ground, and Orthira's got like skin hanging off of her glowing axe.
But
you
that's
see, like a half woken up dwarf in dwarven version of boxers with his hammer and just a half sleepy, half what the hell look on his face as he's bursting this door open.
It was all him. I got it handled.
And with that last cure wounds, you're able to like fully seal off the stump. And even some of the damage done by the cauterization, like the skin's not as charred. Looks more like you got a second-degree burn there. Still very sensitive to the touch, but he'll live.
He'll
What
live.
happened?
He'll live.
Where is
Tobias is
his
pushing in the
hand?
room.
It's in
I have
my-
no idea where
He
his hand is.
chopped it off. Can somebody clean up the... I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Oh,
Tobias
I
starts
can't
cleaning it up. And he starts working out in the hall as well. Going for the blood splatters up.
Well, there's gonna be blood in the street.
I have
Yeah,
a
I don't care
weird
about the street.
question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
With mending, it says a break or tear can't be more than a foot in any dimension. His arm is much less than a foot. Can I mend his hand on?
Mending works on objects. In technicality, his hand is now considered an object, but his arm is not.
Okay.
So you could close the wound on the hand, but you're not.
That doesn't help. Okay.
No.
It was worth a shot.
There's a 7th level spell that'll do it.
Yeah, I don't have those.
Which how many levels till we get 7th level spells?
You have to be 15,
That's-
I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's only
so
for
7.
full casters. I'm like a quarter caster, half. I only get up to 5th at best.
So Tobias has cleaned up
At least
the
the hallway
vomit.
up here. Oh no, I cleaned up the blood.
Oh. Tobias, could you clean up the vomit too? I don't mind the smell of char. I do mind the smell of vomit.
More
do.
prestidigitation.
I really
Mhm.
mind it.
I'd like to go over and just inspect his now raw hand.
Well, as you guys are doing this,
Oh,
you hear a voice from over the balcony just shouting, "Why is there fucking blood everywhere? It's going up, it's on the walls, it's on the stair, it's on the door. What the fuck happened?"
Should shut the door.
Tobias, I think you might need to go help clean that up before we get kicked out.
I'm just gonna give Toby the bag of gold. Whatever it takes, just don't make us broke.
Sorry, as I step back out, I'll go up and say, sorry, our friend got a splinter. It was really bad. We pulled it out. Here, let me help clean it up. And I'll press the digitation again, and I'll start working my way down the stairs.
Did he get a splinter in his
splinter?
jugular?
He's a very soft man.
And that explains the shrieking I heard from 2 doors down?
We had to pull the splinter out.
It was
Roll
just
deception
a
for me.
spear shaft. Sorry.
I mean, a dagger could be a splinter.
That must have been a very big splinter, or like you said, a very soft man.
Well, again,
I think
I'm
I
sorry.
think there's something more serious there because no splinter is going to cover the walls in blood. But I also have a feeling I don't want to know the answer. So you clean it up, and oh, this is gonna cost you so much more.
Well, let me finish cleaning it up, and then we can talk price. And I'm just
I'll
gonna
be at the bar.
spend. I don't know how long it'll take to clean up going down the stairs.
I'd say all of it, like every 6 seconds to get that spell off. It'll take you about once you get downstairs, you realize there's a lot more blood. Probably a good 10 minutes of cleaning.
Okay, I'll do it.
So,
And then, all right, you guys go, and then I'll pick up.
I was just gonna say, I'm really wanting to finish my nap. The bed was actually quite comfortable, even though it's a little bit short for me.
I could use some sleep as well.
You can sleep on the floor. You're not leaving.
Just leave him tied to the immovable rod. He can't run away.
Pretty sure he just cut his arm off to run away.
You have a point.
Then
I'm
tie
taking my
both of
rod
his
back.
hands to the immovable rod.
I'll sleep on the floor in Calgar's room to give you some privacy and not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
no, that's not. Nope. You can sleep right there, and I point to the corner right here. Oh, come on. And I say,
I'm
put your
putting him in
bedroll
time.
down. Put your bedroll down. Lay down and go to sleep.
So as this is
That
all
is not
happening,
up for debate.
you hear heavier footsteps coming down the hall, and this golden head just kind of like peeks around the corner, and you've never seen concern on a dragon's face before, but you find it very unsettling. As Furley pokes her head in, and she looks at Calgar, and she looks at Othir and goes, I heard screaming. Is everything okay?"
Don't worry, it's just Uncle Zeke being dumb again. Don't you look
You don't
at
speak
it,
the
Frodo.
language.
Fuck.
You don't.
You
Yeah,
don't
you don't.
speak Draconic.
Somebody don't let the child see.
Forelli, this is a good opportunity to learn from stupidity. Patience is actually a good virtue, and sometimes you just need to wait for people to help you when they have offered. Otherwise, you do stupid things like Ezekiel, who cut off his own hand.
She kind of looks at
And
Ezekiel confused and says, "Why would he cut off his hand? It's like taking off a claw. I mean, if he wanted to, I probably could have bit it off for him too."
And I could have
Yeah.
cut it with my great axe, which would have been a nice, clean cut. But he used a dagger. And so this
I
is
don't know
just
what
a
that
good
is.
learning experience. I will pull
I'll
out a
teach you
dagger
later.
from.
In
Yeah.
my broken Draconic, broken English, broken
That too.
Draconic. Yes, very much all the time. I'm just gonna chime in. Just he's going through some rough issues, but this was not the answer he needed to choose. He's okay for now, but we'll have to help him in the morning.
I don't
Is
think
this-
any of you fully comprehend the issues that I'm going through.
And she kind of like perks up a little bit and looks over to Thir and goes, "Is this? What did you say? The emotional damage?"
Yes.
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 Got it.
Yeah, he is very emotional. And he has yet to learn how to put a wall up around what he feels and what he does.
I mean, I do understand not putting walls up because you can just fly over walls.
This is true. It's not exactly the kind of wall I was talking about, but that's something you would have to learn over decades. But it's okay. We're gonna make sure that he doesn't do anything else stupid tonight. He is going to go lay down in the corner, and he's going to go to sleep, or he will not walk out of this room.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to sleep now. She just walks away.
I give her a little rub on her, like her back, as she goes away.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'll after seeing Zeke get put into the timeout corner, I'll go back to my room with Farley and go lay down for the rest of the night.
Downstairs, Tobias will finish up, and he'll take out 20 gold and put it on the counter in front of the bartender. And go, again, I'm sorry for the mess. We could have handled it better, but sometimes this guy's not that wise. And I hope we cleaned up and made it a little bit nicer than it was before.
He like looks past you and he sees a streak of clean that is like glaringly obvious against the grime on the walls. He goes, I think you're a little too effective. At least I don't have people that are coming begging for refunds because you were screaming bloody murder. Although, to be fair, it's not the worst thing that's happened in this bar. I'll take the 20 gold and consider this your last night here.
Got it. Thank you. And Tobias is going to bow and go, again, I'm sorry. And he's going to walk upstairs.
How long do you think
And
it's going to take him to figure out there's a trail leading right to his front door?
And I don't know if Caligar's still there, but I'm going to walk in. And I'm going to take my unslung bow staff, my unslung bow without the string on it. And I'm going to whap Ezekiel right on the stump.
Roll to hit.
Let me bring this up. That's... I'm just physically whapping him with it. No arrow, no damage.
I'd say it's going as like, due to the sensitive nature, it does cause some. Just keep it nice and simple. You do like 3 points of damage. Just because what nerves are still present are just constantly reminding him that, hey, you're missing a hand. Hey, you're missing a hand.
And then walking right, not even acknowledging Athera or Cardinal. I'm going to go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you have any idea what you're doing? Show me the hand. Show it to me.
It's in my backpack. Get it yourself.
I reach into his backpack, take out the hand. Is the bracelet still attached to the wrist, or has it come off?
The bracelet is still attached.
Still attached to his hand?
Yep.
And I'll turn to Athera and go, are we being spied on right now?
I will use a charge on my thing to see if there's any sensors.
You don't see any.
I don't see any sensors.
And I'll turn back to Ezekiel and go, are you sapient at all? Are you incapable of even planning out a day, a few hours ahead of time?
I don't know what you want me to say here, Tobias.
We could have done anything. We could have delayed our trip to Kemery to fight this guy, to burn his shit to the ground. We could have done anything. But that just set all the wheels in motion. As it is now, I don't think we can wait. I don't even know if we should stay here tonight. We might need to get the fuck out of town right now.
If he's working with my patron, I don't think he can take any direct action against us that would stop us from doing what she wants us to do.
And
Should
how would
do
that be
direct
different
actions.
than before? Yeah, direct action. He can act against us. You, in one quick motion, you have declared what exactly we're going to do and when we're going to do it. He has no choice but to act right now. Once he figures this out, we can't dawdle around the city. We can't research. I think we got to get out. Like I said, we might need to get out now. I don't know, what would we do? Raid the camel trader and leave money behind and slip out at night? This is just nonsensical. Are you incapable of just waiting a day to plan? Are you just taking temporary discomfort and pain for future rewards? Are you even capable of thinking of that?
I hear a lot of people judging me that aren't in my shoes, that don't know half of what I've been through.
Everyone here will fight for you. We will, like I said, we could have gone and burned down this guy's house tomorrow. But not now. We can't do it now. Because you couldn't think about the consequences of what you do immediately.
Tobias isn't wrong.
And do you honestly think that you have gone through things that are worse than all of us? Because I'm sitting here from a position that I've gone through some pretty decent shit. I am a lieutenant of Dispater. Do you honestly think that what you've gone through is less than what some of the others have gone through? Or more than? Sorry.
I don't know.
You can't just sit there and assume that people don't understand. This is what got you in this situation in the first place. You can't get your head out of your ass and look at things from a different perspective.
It's definitely worse than what I've gone through. But us, your friends, would do anything for you. We would fight this guy for you. We would, even if it means having to not save the world for the immediate moment, we would help you. But your actions have prevented that immediately. Now, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything we can do to help you, and I think we've got to leave. And that action might even hinder us in the future because, like I said, I think we got to leave before we even do any research about what we need to learn about Kemery.
I don't want to say Tobias is right, but I think in my most paranoid moment, if I was where he was, that's exactly what I would do. We need to get out. I just don't want to risk him having the chance to kill us in the night, or to rally the city against us, or to frame us for another crime. Anything that delays us from our path.
The Queen wants us to stop chaos. As long as we are still working towards that, I don't think everything she's done to make sure I'm under her thumb will be undone by what I did. And as long as he's bound to her as well as I don't think he can take action against us in the way you guys are thinking.
I think you put too much credit in your knowledge of your queen, given that your knowledge has proven incorrect on several occasions.
So, I will interject on that a little bit. He isn't wrong in that if he is doing what she wants him to do, she's going to allow him to do it. Because that's the tool he has become. It's what a contract is. However, we need to be quick about what we're doing. I don't think leaving this exact moment is necessary. But I know if something like this had happened with Dispater, and I was tasked to go do something, and somebody that was adjacent tried to stop me from doing that, he would be skinned and flayed alive. They seem to be about the same type of creature. Not creature, that's not the word she uses. Entity.
So, we don't have much time to waste. We get out of here as soon as possible. We'll spend the night. Whatever you want to do in the morning, do it fast, and then we meet and we head out. What do you think? I look around at everybody else.
I think hearing the argument, Calgar would come back into the room. Back to that whole thin walls thing. And then like he's still dwarf boxers, and at this point he can't go back to sleep, so he's a little bit grumpy. But just so I'll just start taking some heavy steps back into the room and just this does change things, but we need to learn more about what's over there. I agree we may need to move fast. I do not agree we need to leave tonight. Let's sleep. You don't go anywhere. We'll figure it out in the morning. We at least need transportation through the desert. And I think that drowned, whatever it is, the part of the city nobody goes to, that we need to go check that out for a little bit at least. Give it a once over. It
Also,
sounds like it may have something of value over there.
Also, the bracelet is still here. So, I think the connection he has to it is still here. He just can't keep it, like, there's no forced keeping it on Ezekiel. So, we are also assuming that he would know that he cut his hand off.
Mm-hmm.
But the bracelet is still in his... The bracelet is still in his possession.
That is a valid point. Can I do a Arcana check to see if I would know about lead boxes?
Sure.
And their disruptive properties? With 13.
You've heard that lead interacts with magic in an odd way, but most of what you heard has been referring to how it interacts with dwarven runes. So you're not sure how it would interact with the like more wild or pure magical essence.
Okay. Okay. Right. Before we take off out of here, if that is still attached to his hand, then it's probably still active, but now it's just not on him. We may need to ask somebody about some sort of disruptive if there's some way to block it, to
My
maybe
understanding
channel it
is
somewhere else.
my understanding of it is that it's two parts. There is the magical effect that makes the wearer fail the saving throw automatically for scry. And there is a curse that ties the wearer to a corresponding ring and prevents the wearer from harming the person wearing the ring. I would argue I'm not wearing it anymore. So the only magic I know of would be something that would allow somebody to locate an object.
Or you can scry
Well-
on object. So can't you?
No, scry is on a
No?
creature.
Damn it. Okay. Shit,
What
I was
if
gonna
we
say
just
something. I forgot what it was.
well, you're obviously not attached to that hand anymore. What if we destroyed it?
The hand?
Yes.
Your hand's gonna rot. Especially in this climate.
I think
I
for
don't
now the
have
magic
any
is
way
still
of
active.
magically yeah. I don't have any way of preserving just your hand.
We all saw the bracelet start large, and then the moment it attached to his hand, it shrunk down. Right now, it's still shrunk down, attached to his hand. I assumed it would come off if
Can I
he
Has
chopped
anyone
his
tried
hand off. It's no
taking it
longer
off?
attached to
can
him.
I try and take the bracelet off? The hand? The wrist?
Does Ezekiel give you the hand?
Well, I have
I
the
think
hand
Tobias
now.
took it.
Yeah, because he made me get it out of his
Okay.
his pack. So I'll hand it to Athera.
I'm just imagining you holding the hand and gesticulating as you as you're talking with it.
Just blood splatters going everywhere. Yeah, you can try. How are you trying to get it off?
I'm gonna hold the hand. I'm gonna grab the bracelet and I'm going to pull it apart.
Okay. When you go to pull, the bracelet doesn't budge.
Okay. So it's not coming off. Therefore, we can assume that something on it is still active. If we keep it with us until we leave the city, I'm gonna go under the impression that he doesn't know what's happened. On that note, Caligar, we need you to make a fake hand so we can put a glove on it so if somebody sees him, they can't notice that he has no hand.
Ezekiel, you can disguise yourself, right?
Yeah, I can also just keep my arm in my pocket.
What can you make it look like you have both hands?
Yeah, I can also use Mage Hand to still operate as if I have two hands
There you
for
go.
some things.
Well, first, I don't think we should split up tomorrow. I think we should all travel together, go wherever we're going. We can,
Good point.
if we have to research, I don't know, I'd lean more towards the research than the drowned quarter, just because we know what we're looking for in this research in the libraries, but we're hoping to find something in the drowned quarter. And we don't know what we're hoping to find.
Well, just above table, wasn't the drowned quarter in the same kind of time period as the writing on the scrolls?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we
That's what
kind
we
of
were
wanted to
told.
go there, because there were that kind of writing in the drowned quarter, whereas in the library you have to try and find stuff.
Yeah, and the library is
Like-
relying on the humans to actually give a crap about Naggaroth, and if they actually have anything about it.
Well, Tobias is going to use his free casting of alarm, and he's going to start alarming this room here, this second room. And it's going to be the bell alarm. So if anything crosses in here, that's not one of us, is you're going to hear an audible bell for 10 seconds. And I'll mention, by the way, this is definitely our last night here. The bartender is kicking us out after tonight.
How much did
Understandable.
he ask for?
I'm not surprised.
I gave him 20 gold.
Okay. I'll take my gold back. Thank you very
Alright,
much.
so I'll also
I have my hand back.
Thera
I'll
has
give it back to him.
I
Yep.
think after we leave the city, we need to destroy your hand. As I give you a friendly wave with the obvious metal thing of where my hand of my obviously metal prosthetic.
I don't know. It depends. If we're assuming the magic's still working, then I don't think we should destroy it. I think it might stop working at some point in the future. But again, I think the moment we make sure it comes off, then everything's slamming into motion.
I think we have a lot of questions right now, a lot of answers, and a lot of suppositions. Get to bed. We gotta head out early in the morning.
Oh, and Ezekiel, one more thing. And I'm going to hit him with the stave of the bow again. Ah, darn.
You
He's
wind up
wise
like you're
to you
going
this
for like
time.
this really like elaborate flourish, and as you go to do it, the staff just like flips out of your hand. And you're like, oh.
I'll pick it up and I'll walk out of the room. Go back to my room.
I'm gonna walk out the room too. I'm heading downstairs.
I'm gonna stay
I'm
up
not gonna
until you
leave.
fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave yet. I'm gonna go over to Athera. I need a drink.
Would you like
Oh.
some of mine?
Yeah, I want to try some of yours again. And I'll give you some of mine again.
How much of mine do you want? I am
I'm
going
gonna
sparingly.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold out my tankard and just pour whatever you want in here. I think if I mix it together, it should go down quite nicely.
Sure, I put a splash.
And then I'll take a drink. And I'm going for like a couple glugs, couple mouthfuls. Like, yep, this is happening. Ezekiel did something else today. I need this to try to sleep.
So this time the Hellfires, you get that burn, but it's not as searing as it was last time. You get more of that Bugman's flavor that is a nicer burn.
Alright, he'll just go like, you should try that.
I'm not gonna be drinking tonight, but I appreciate the offer. I'm gonna wait till this one falls asleep, and then I'm going to rest, and then we are going to go. But I am not gonna risk getting drunk.
I suppose that makes sense. Come here. Yeah. So, I'll put. Oh, I don't have anywhere to put the tankard away from. I'm just gonna carry it back to my room because apparently I just keep my tankard with me at all times. And then I'll go down and lay with Furley as I just. He's going to get us killed one day.
I'm
As-
going.
and then
I'm going to cast sleep on myself. Make sure I get a good night's sleep.
Does that have somatic components?
He still has
I
one
still
hand.
have one hand, buddy.
Yep, he can
But I
still
think-
do
I think if
somatic
it-
with the one. He just can't hold anything else.
No, you can cast a spell with one hand.
That's all you need.
Naruto style.
What he needs is a fucking like he needs to like have his dagger strapped to his arm so that he could do
Yeah.
like with his fist, like with his stump.
There are things called arm blades, arm weapons. They are a thing.
All right, so then Cardinal, you come
Interestingly-
downstairs, and it looks like you're sitting at the bar. The innkeeper kind of looks over at you, but he recognizes that you're part of that group. Doesn't say anything. He's just doing some midnight tidying.
That's fine. As long as he ignores me, I ignore him. I'm putting my head down on the table and just enjoy the peace while it lasts. Because there's some thinking I need to do.
After like about 2 minutes, he walks over, and you hear him like kind of like knock on the wood beside your head and goes, "Hey, you're not sleeping down here."
I'm not sleeping. Don't worry.
So I take it you've had an interesting night.
An interesting life the last couple months, let's just say.
Your friend didn't mention, and I was kind of didn't want to ask her off the bat, but what happened up there?
You know, you have a friend, and he does something stupid multiple times, and then you have to keep saving him from himself. They just can't stop getting angry at him. That's what happened.
Points down to a guy that's like drunk and like falling off a stool at the end and goes, "Oh yeah, that's Steve."
My condolences.
Everybody's got a Steve. And some friendly advice before I kick you out in the morning. Sometimes you can help them. Sometimes the best help you can do is cut them loose.
Yeah, I know. The fact that I'm considering it is what keeps me up at night.
Well, you're in the right city. If you wanted to have him disappear, there are ways that it can be arranged.
I'm quite a capable woman. Speaking of the city, there are services one can procure, yes? Of the subtle kind.
Of the subtle kind, of the not subtle kind, of the brazenly open kind. Anything you could think that you would want someone to provide a service for, you can get here.
Well, who do I ask?
Sorry, say it again?
Who do I ask? Where do I go?
Depends on what you want.
I need someone watched.
Need someone watched. Let me think here. Now, is this you want someone watched so that they're being intimidated? Someone watched because you're trying to get information? Someone watched
Information.
because you think that they're sleeping? Okay. And I assume watched in a manner that the person being watched doesn't know they're being watched?
Ideally, he's powerful, so skilled. I need someone really skilled.
There's, say, the northern edge of the Drawn Quarter, right up against the city wall. They like to think that no one knows they're there, but I'm fairly certain you can find a contingent of elves. But not like the elves that we see coming in from Ulthuan. These ones seem to relish in pain. They're also very good at not being seen.
That'll do. How much do I owe you?
Your friend already paid me for the extra hassle. Let's do 30.
I give him 30 for my personal. Yep, I'll give him 30 for my personal.
Okay. He just pockets it and goes, be careful with those ones. Like I said, I've seen the elves that come in on the trade ships. They all seem very have a high opinion of themselves. The ones in the
I know
Drowned
these
Quarter,
guys.
have you encountered them before?
Encountered them, went to their city, killed a couple. You know, the usual.
Oh, then they're gonna love you. Okay, well, good luck.
I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna head back up.
Okay. So, Ezekiel spelled himself into a stupor. Calgar, you said you went back to bed with your dragon. Othira is awake, going to sleep.
Well, I was going to pull my bed in front of the door, but he spelled himself to sleep, so he's not waking up. So I'm just gonna go to bed.
Okay.
Tobias is hugging his longsword of warning.
Which from Mr.
Caligar is
Tobias?
making sure
This one?
the one
Bottom
below
room.
you. Caligar is making sure to lock the window.
Bunk buddies. I'm gonna put a bedroll on the floor.
Sure.
Calgar's got PTSD from his time in inns.
Was
All
the
that
inn
effort to
Very
make
that
sure the
was
similar to
door was
this one.
shut. He just waltzes right into the window.
All right, so if you guys aren't doing anything else, your night passes with no event, nothing happens. Othira, a couple times during the night, you hear a little bit of almost like whimpering coming from Ezekiel. Sounds like he's
Oh, I'm
having
enjoying that.
a few nightmares. Whether they're from his past or from the fact that he's now suddenly missing an appendage, it's hard to tell.
It's like a lullaby. It's awesome.
Okay, so you guys get your long rest in, so I'll just take that.
Nice, nice. I want to take a long rest.
Okay, and you wake up as dawn starts breaking and sunlight shines through your windows. The
And
day
I
is
start
yours.
putting my armor back on. I'm not exactly sure how long it takes to put plate armor on, but I have to do that.
I'll
I think
say to
plate's like
Colonel,
20
I think we
minutes.
got to move fast for wherever we're headed. Where are we headed?
Breakfast on the go. Let's start with. We had a list of places we want to get to.
Library, temple, drowned quarter.
Let's start with the temple.
All right.
If we're not splitting up anymore, this is going to take forever.
We'll be fast.
All right.
As we leave the bar and start walking down the street, I'd like to keep an eye out to see if we're being followed.
Ditto. Ditto.
Roll
Yep.
perception.
Oh. I had dismissed Gormain. I want to summon Gormain.
Tobias, you don't notice anything. Ezekiel, you're fairly confident as you're looking around. Like you're catching glimpses of groups of guards. Crowds of people seem to flow kind of organically as the city starts to come awake. But everyone that you're looking around, it seems that they're more focused on their own task than on your motley crew moving through the city.
Okay.
All right,
So
so you
we're
said
headed
you
to
guys
the
are
temple
going to the
first?
temple first?
I guess.
Okay, so temple, it's like the cathedral is tall enough that it's rising above the other buildings and the city walls, like the interior walls, that you're able to see it from a good distance off. So just the distance, it's going to take you about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get there. And as you're going through, you're hearing, like I said, the city's coming to life. Vendors are starting to open their stores. Stalls are opening up. Um, Family and children are starting to run out into the streets, and just that general hustle and bustle of the city life. Um, let's pull up information.
And I will cast Disguise Self on myself, but I'll look like Ezekiel with 2 hands.
Okay. Okay. And as you walk into the mosque of the Eternal Flame, um, it's very, it's a wide open, comfortable space, ornate in the fixtures. It seems like a lot of the money from the city gets poured into the temple here, and as you walk into the main area of it, in the center is this pit of fire that goes down. It's probably about like 25, 30 feet across. Goes down about maybe 10 feet, but there's this constant, just roaring blaze of a fire that goes from the bottom of that pit and about halfway up to the vaulting ceilings. And around it, there's say about 4 priests. All seem to have their heads bowed, hands folded, and they're just lost in prayer as you come in.
Is this the same, like, a similar religion to what is worshipped in the Empire?
No. No, the Empire is really focused on the worship of Sigmar.
And what temple this is?
Eternal flame.
Eternal Flame.
Eternal Flame. Oh, that is the god. I don't know anything about this world. Sorry.
Does anybody remember why we wanted to come here?
That was
That's a
you and
temple.
Tobias were asking.
Oh yeah, our little mystery. Okay. Well, does it seem there's any free priest that's not currently engaged?
You see some acolytes that are just going about some morning chores, kind of more hidden in the shadows off to the sides.
I'm gonna try and wave one of them down.
They see you wave, and they just wave back and go back to sweeping.
I didn't mean wave like this. I mean wave like come. I need to talk to you.
He looks over at you, looks at the priest, shakes his head and says, points at you, waves you over to him.
I walk over to him. I walk over to him. Greetings.
Hi.
Okay. Do you have anybody here that's capable of restoring limbs that have been lost?
Restoring limbs that have been lost? No.
Okay. Do you have a curse specialist, curse breaker?
You could try Rahim. He points to the priest that's on the north side of the flame. He goes, I've heard people say that he's dealt with curses before.
Okay. Is it rude if I disturb his prayer? Or how do I approach him?
I don't know. I've never disturbed them at prayer. Last time I saw someone do it, they got beat. So that's why I'm gonna keep sweeping, because I'm fairly certain if I don't, they're gonna beat me.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna ask the others to wait back. I'm just gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna approach from where they're praying. I'm just gonna go to like beside where Raheem is, just slightly behind. Join him in his kneeling. Hopefully he can feel my presence. You know when someone comes near you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're in your armor as well, right?
It's
So you're not exactly
quiet, but I
quiet.
try to be. I'll just wait patiently for him to notice.
So he takes a minute, and then there's a faint turn of his head and goes, "Do you need something, child?"
Your knowledge, if you have the time to spare.
For those seeking knowledge, I always have time to spare.
Thank the gods. We have a affliction, a curse that is shared among us, and we're trying to get rid of it, find a loophole somehow to avoid the gaze of who cast it, or a way to break in. I heard you have some expertise in this area.
I've dealt with some curses in my time. What is the nature of the curse?
From a archfey, I think.
Ooh, that makes things more challenging. And he gets up from the prayer, turns and looks at you fully. And when you get a good look at him, like he's probably early to mid 30s. Short, dark beard. Most of his face is just kind of like lost in the shadow of his hood. It says, "Is it a person or item you have cursed,
Well,
or is there
I'm
a
just
cursed
gonna
item on a
pull.
person?"
We have several of those. It's a warlock.
that makes things even
I'm
more
just gonna-
interesting.
I'm just gonna explain the whole situation to him from day one, just to avoid.
Yep.
So here's what happened.
And he, like, the entire time you're explaining, his face is completely impassive. He hardly moves a muscle, and you feel like his eyes are just kind of like boring into your soul as he's just watching you so intently. And when you finally finish retelling everything, he just nods and goes, Your friend, not the smartest individual, is he?
Don't get me started.
Is he one of the ones that are with you now?
I point to Ezekiel.
Looks at Ezekiel and just beckons with one hand.
I go to raise my left hand and then put it down and raise my right and walk that way.
So when we come closer, he kind of looks you up and down and looks at the hand that should be missing but isn't. Looks back up at you and says, Show me your true self.
I'll drop it so I look the same, but the hand just kind of fizzles out.
He reaches out and, like, his despite the fact that you're near such an intense flame, like, his hand touches your arm and his fingers are very cool. Like, it's kind of like almost off-putting. And he lifts your stump and looks at it and goes, It's a very crude method for sealing the wound. I'm sure one of the healers here could have done a little more cleanly. But I do understand desperation at the time that you first discovered things can lead to rash action. Now let me see the item.
I will shoulder off the backpack and rummage through it with my good hand and find my hand with the bracelet attached and hold it up.
Now decomposing head. Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot paler. Just starting to see a little bit of like a green to the edge of it, and he takes the hand from you, turns it over. It's almost like he's studying it, and then, without hesitation, he just throws it into the fire.
Caligar's just gonna grin. I knew it!
He just sits there, waits for a minute, looks at Ezekiel, looks at Cardinal, smiles a little bit, says, Just wait. A minute more, he walks around to the side, grabs this long pincer that will clearly reach down to the bottom, reaches in, and it's like he's kind of like fishing around. Like he can't quite see, and then he like kind of perks up a bit. And he's like pinches it together, pulls it out, and sets it on the ground in front of you. And the bracelet is still firmly secured to the hand, and the hand is untouched. He goes, Huh. That wasn't supposed to happen.
What just happened? What was supposed to happen?
The flame has purifying. So I don't understand. The flame purifies. Anytime there's been something with a curse on it, usually the flame will remove that. I've never seen something like that. And he looks at Zeke and goes, An archfey, you say, is what cursed this item.
Of sorts.
I don't know if they actually cursed it, but how much did she tell you?
She told me pretty much everything she knows about you. The only thing that comes to mind is this curse is more powerful than anything I've ever seen. I assume, he points to the Cardinal, is priestly type yourself. You've tried removing the curse on your own?
Oh, yeah.
A curse like this, I think it still views the severed limb as part of the whole. You may be safe from the magical side of it, but I think the curse still holds true. I would venture so far as to say, as when the curse felt the presence of your soul and was activated, yes, the metal bit into your flesh, but the curse bit into your soul. And the only thing that will remove it is a wish.
So you're telling me that Tweedlefuck can't scry on me, but I can't do anything to hurt him?
You could always try, see what happens. But in essence, yes.
Remember what I said about rash actions? I'm very pointedly not looking at Zeke. Alright, well, I'm gonna show him the curse mark on my body, wherever the fuck it was. The last person we asked about this mark, because the same patron also helped us not die, she said the only way to remove it is by killing the caster itself. I'm gonna give him the lowdown on what me and Tobias were thinking. If there's a way we could heal ourselves to not be afflicted by her, control methods, is that something possible or no?
With the Fae, it's always really so hard to say what they are and are not capable of doing. You say it's the Queen of the Unseelie Court. I find it believable that she has that power.
Okay.
I don't have the skills to break a hold of hers. It may be possible. You might find a method, but at the same time, the amount of effort it'll take to attain that, it might just be easier to kill her.
Understood. Do you have anything that protects one from scrying?
Not at hand, but we do have some services that are indebted to us that are able to enchant items. I'm fairly certain I could convince them to do so on your behalf. I'm sure they'll ask for payment for it,
We'll pay.
but such a service would take some time.
How much time?
I've never seen them do something faster than a week.
Right. Well, let me get back to you on that. I'm gonna go back to the others.
I'd like to stay behind for a second with the priest.
He watches Cardinal walk off, looks back at you, and says, "You have more?"
I feel like I'm drowning.
It's understandable.
Like, no matter what I do, it is always the wrong thing.
With the story your friend is told, honestly, I believe you are putting too much on your choices and your actions. You were manipulated and driven to what is essentially your destiny. There's nothing you could have done that would have stopped that. If you had been intimately aware of it when it first began, you might have had a better chance of guiding yourself to a more favorable path. But when one such as your patron dedicates as much time and effort into collecting on someone as she has for you, it's going to happen.
What you say, it makes sense, but it's hollow words to me. It doesn't help me figure out what I'm supposed to do.
Have you tried asking?
Asking who? Your
The
god,
one who
Sigmar, the 1,000 gods our cleric serves?
the Queen of Air and Darkness? You want to know what you should do? There's one being in existence who has pushed you in a very specific direction. Find out why.
If I don't want to.
Then that's your first step on the road of taking control of your own life.
Oh. Thank you. I'll head back to the rest of the group.
That was a bust. They have someone who will take a week to enchant, and if we want something that protects from scrying, I don't think that's viable. So I guess we move on.
He did also
Muted.
He did also
Can you hear me
say,
now?
oh yeah, go ahead.
It wasn't a complete bust. We did find out that he doesn't, like, it's still connected to him. So therefore,
Partially.
whatever. We don't have to worry so much about Dipshit McGee having a issue with what he did.
Okay.
Good point, Athera.
And
Oh,
quick DM question.
Which means we're not in as much of a rush.
Would I know how long it would roughly take me to make up a hand?
One that's as intricate as what you have?
Maybe not as intricate. I'm not trying to replace an entire arm. I'm just a hand.
Yeah, but you mean like
at
one
the
that's
moment,
still
something quick.
mobile and still works as a hand, less of like, a prosthetic.
At the moment, something quick and dirty, so that he can maybe use it for something simple, like just holding his dagger, and then making something more intricate to actually replace his hand later, because I'm sure that'll take up more time.
Let's get you to roll. Let's go with a history.
Say 14.
So, I'd say whipping up something just like basic, with no articulation to it, something that's really just formed so it looks like he has a hand. I'd say kind of like along the lines of like Jaime Lannister, just a golden glove, effectively. Um, you're fairly certain you can get that done in about 2 days of working at a forge. Um, something more complex where it can actually function as a hand. You think to when you got your own arm replaced, it took a team of dwarven smiths working on that, and even though you've come across like the dwarven quarter in Kofor, you're fairly certain that if you were to commit to that, you would need a proper dwarven forge.
That's about what I figured. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Booty, you were saying something?
No, Athera said the same thing. Basically, that the scrying effect doesn't work, but I'm still cursed.
So what was the next stop on our list?
There's the library and the drowned quarter.
Library was just for general info on local practices, what's in the desert, etc., etc.
I think we should focus on the drowned quarter.
Okay, we'll go there first.
Because local practices are one thing, but I'd rather know more about the dangers ahead.
As we start to leave, I'll point at Ezekiel's stump and go, "You're gonna want to magic that up again."
The guest disguised self again.
I don't know why, but when you did that, my brain just went, ooga booga boo, I choose you.
Alright, so we had someone to roll a survival just to navigate your way through the city.
I have a +3 proficient.
+5.
I would help.
Nice.
Ooh. Um,
Well, if you're helping, yeah, roll advantage. Do it again.
another one.
Yeah, not much better.
Another one.
So you're crossing the entire length of the city. So this one's gonna take you, say, about 2.5 to 3 hours to get across. Every now and then you kind of like lose sight of like the landmark that you're using. You pick it up again. You're like, okay, that's where I think it is. So you make your way across. Um, and you were aiming to come into the drowned quarter from the eastern side, but you got kind of turned around, and you come in more from the northern end.
Oh, by the way, might have a lead for you. Well, something you can work on. As we're walking there, I found out there's a contingent of dark elves in the city. Well, in the northern quarter of the drowned quarter. Could ask them to spy on what's his face,
Who are you talking to?
the group.
So they're right where we're headed.
Somewhere in there. I was thinking of hiring them.
Yeah, I think it would be good to spy on Archibald. Find out patterns, any secrets we can. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
At the very least, we know, hopefully, the Dark Elves won't be affiliated with him. If they're living this far out.
Halagar's gonna get a disgruntled expression. Just
I know, I know.
I thought we were done with the Dark Helgi.
If we could
Everybody
find a
has a
group of
use.
dwarven spies, I would have gone to them.
Everybody has a use. Getting information is always the best part of one of the more important parts of warfare is getting enough information.
Ezekiel?
Yeah, whatever. Sounds good.
No, that's not good
we're
enough.
gonna have to deal with the depressed Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, do you
Is
want
that-
to defeat Archibald?
Sure, I'd love to.
Inside
So
check.
How old is
we're
Ezekiel?
talking about
It's 26.
He's
Dude.
behaving
so
like
we're
he's
talking about
14.
taking down your arch enemy and hiring some people to do it, and you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Do you want our help? Do you want us to help plan to take this guy down?
I can't physically do anything against him as long as this curse remains.
That was not the
I'm
question you
open
were
to
asked,
receiving whatever information we can about him, but any idea that they're going to give us some action that we can take when the time comes, I won't be able to help. And that doesn't
You
serve
seem
the purpose that
stuck.
I want to deal with him.
From
The
what it
rest of us
sounded
could-
like, and this is we'll be sure to test it. It sounded like you can't take direct physical action against him, not indirect action.
I want to personally make him suffer until he loses the will to live by my hand. And I can't do that as long as this curse remains. Anything else is just a fleeting exercise in futility.
Sure, you can make him suffer. You think the man is just a person? He's everything he's built up. It's everything he's taken from you. That's the start. That's how you start getting at him.
Also, I'm really good at helping people make things suffer. So, it's kind of good that you have me in your group at the moment if that's your goal is suffering.
The only other path I can see is that we go after the queen directly, take her down, and then you have your opening against Archibald to do basically whatever. That's the only other path I see. So is that your goal? Or how do you want to start?
I can get permission from the queen, I think, if we accomplish what she wants from me. That's how far I see it.
But then wouldn't information about him be useful to that goal? Or you think it just doesn't matter? Or doesn't matter right now?
I'm thinking it doesn't matter right now. We should start, sure, the collection of information, but until I have that ability to do something with it, it's not worth anything. I get that you all want to help me in this.
So, good enough. There are other ways to make someone suffer than to actually physically try and hurt them. So, we could talk about that at a different time. I'll come up with some ideas for you and I pat you on the shoulder. It'll be fine.
I really do appreciate it that you guys want to help me. But right now my concern is more on getting some breathing room somewhere for me. So I'd like to just find out what we need to find out and get out of this city to start.
Good enough?
Tobias is seething, but he says nothing more.
Yeah,
Can
over
I
on the
take...
side. No, go
Sorry.
ahead.
I just want to take Tobias aside for a second. And,
Sure.
So, I understand what you're trying to do with him, but at this point, the way to lead him is not going to be by keeping on that track. If we step back, let him breathe, and then we subtly influence him a little bit until he is stable enough to be directly led. But at this point, nothing is going to help until he settles.
I don't think he has to be led. I think he has to want it. And I don't think we're going to influence him into wanting it. He's, in my opinion, he's too
Lost.
accepting of his fate. And it's got to get to the point where he wants it. And here's an opportunity to start, in my opinion, start on something, anything. And just not taking it while we're right here. That's just...
Yeah, except for he is right in the fact that this isn't going to really do anything at the moment. We could hire, if you really wanted somebody to grab information, you can have them do it without him being involved in that. But he's not going to want something until he gets a step in the direction he needs to be going. And this is not the direction he needs to be going. He needs a win.
I disagree, but I'll leave it at that. And we keep walking.
Yeah, after their discussion, or the whole discussion, Caligar over on the side, he's gonna take a second and reach into his bag of holding and take out a small book, nothing huge. It looks kind of old, but well maintained. Not, taken care of. As I open over to a blank page, and I'll take out a small knife or something sharp, and cut my index finger a little bit as I start writing into my book. As I write in my own little personal book of grudges. For a new grudge to just to avenge Ezekiel's parents and his, not even just like his honor, but just like his entire character, like his whole self has been driven and forced down something by this patron of his. But at the moment he's directing his grudge towards Archibald. So he's going to write down to a new grudge for destroying everything Archibald has. And helping Zeke restore himself and become whole again, as it were. And then after that, I'll put it away. And this is all written in Dwarven, just for... That way it doesn't matter if somebody else is trying to look over it. He knows only one person can read Dwarven in the group.
All right, well,
Okay.
I'll
And
lead
this
the
was
way.
all happening as you're making your way to the Drown Quarter, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, we got like, what, 2 hours?
Okay. So as you step into the Drown Quarter, there's a scent. It's kind of like a mixture of salt water and decay. It just kind of like clings to the air. It's mingling with the dry heat of the desert wind. And the name suggests a place swallowed by the sea. But here, ruins come from both water and sand alike. The streets, they can still be called like that, are a labyrinth of half-sunken buildings and crumbling Naggaroth stonework. It's the bones of an ancient city that's long since been broken by time and catastrophe. To the west, land slopes downwards, and where the ruined structures lean drunkenly, you see that there's water lines that are taller than even Othera. They're 10, 15 feet up on some of these buildings. Um, and just from that look, it seems like what happened is this ancient city for the Naggaroth Empire was destroyed in a tidal wave. Um, to the east, where it's clear the waters have receded, the desert's begun to reclaim it slowly. There are piles of sand that stack up against ruined walls, burying doorways, collapsed roofs. Um, More towards the center, where there was once a temple, is now just broken slabs of stone that jut out at sharp angles. The carvings in the stone, once grand and intricate, are now worn smooth by centuries of wind-blown grit, and it's almost like the ghosts of the past are not just specters. They're whispering from forgotten times beneath the relentless sun. And even in the decay, the quarter's not abandoned. The desperate and the damned will make their home amid the ruins. You got vagabonds, exiles, scavengers. They're all sifting through the rubble, hoping to find something of worth before the desert reclaims it forever. You're walking through the ruined buildings. You can feel eyes watching you from the shadowed doorways. Um, but whether it's beggars or those that have been lost, no one lingers in this place for a reason.
So where do you guys think we should head?
I mean, the temple might be a good place.
Probably have the most anything intact we can figure out.
It's at least a place to start.
What are we looking for here?
Information about Nehekara or Kemri, or just generally anything about the desert ahead of us.
So
Anything we can
anything
use.
to help us with the riddles of the scrolls.
That too.
That too.
Okay, so let's go with. I'll get you all to roll an investigation check for me.
I can roll that if somebody would give me assistance. That would be great.
I think he said
Yeah, just everybody,
Everybody
because
roll.
you're all
Everybody?
looking, right?
Oh crap!
Yeah.
I got max 34.
I'm not even
Jesus.
gonna bother. I'll just let Kelgar choose.
Yeah. Calgar's in his prime. He's like, you want me to go find information? I got you.
I even felt good about rolling an 18.
So investigation's the thing I'm best at.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
What's
I
in a
have a
deer
flat.
stalker?
I have
It's
a flat
elementary.
plus 11, but I also get an extra D4 because of my specific dwarf race. It's the Mark of
Oh.
Warding dwarf from Eberron, and they get an extra D4 to their investigation checks. So
Right. So you're
I
1
have-
point off of 100. Like, perfect.
Was it?
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
You rolled a 3 on your D4, but yeah, crazy.
Yeah, pretty much
All right.
max.
Sorry.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Way to fuck up my win,
I want to
man.
know his bank account. I want to know his personal social security number.
Well, so you're searching through the ruins of the temple, and there's not a whole lot of information. Like, knowing what you do about the Naggaroth Empire. Like, when it was at its peak was 3 or 4 thousand years ago, and if this fall were to take place, while the empire is still stretched out to this extent, like you're fairly certain that these ruins are ancient. You're able to find some markings on various pillars. Um, you'll find like a scroll case or a scroll that's tucked underneath a bit of rubble. You pick it up, and the parchment just dissolves in your hand. Um, I assume as you're going through, you're probably doing comprehend languages. You have that
Those are
as
the
an ability, right?
tongues.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's all written in a language you don't understand.
Yep. I have a free use of comprehend languages every day, and if needed, I can use slots as
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah, so you're going through, and like the markings you're finding on the pillars, it seems to be your most um, consistent form of information. So you're finding things, at least what you're able to make out, will have mentions of divine embalming oils that have been used by the mortuary cult um, to give everlasting life to the kings of the Naggaroth Empire. There's mention of Setzer the Imperishable, how his rule shall extend beyond the ages, beyond death itself. You'll find mentions of the War of the Jackal and the Vulture, which, what you're able to make out, seems like there was two priestly orders that caused a civil war that raged throughout the empire. Um, Brief mention of the rise of Nagash and how he brought undeath into the world, and that was what brought about the fall of the empire as well. Um, in that passage, you see a faint reference to Archaon the Black and his Black Tower, but you don't really get a whole lot of information out of that. As you're picking your way through the ruins, you're more focused on the pillars, and after about 15, 20 minutes, you take a step, and instead of hearing like the sand shifting under your boot, you hear a crack of bone. And you look down, and coming out from um, like a drifting of sand, as you see just a skeletal hand reaching out, like it's clawing at the ground, trying to escape. And you kind of like bend down, you brush the sand away, and you find half of the skeleton. You got the rib cage, the skull, left arm is extending out, and the right arm is kind of like folded underneath. And there is a broken tablet. Looks like it was hacked to pieces, intentionally broken, but it's clutched with as tight of a grip as possible, and just wading through the ages.
I will carefully first pull out my hammer and reach out and just knock its head a bit. Just trying to make sure it's not gonna reach out and like try to steal my heart or something.
You knock the skull, and the skull goes rolling across the floor.
Go. I'll reach out and grab the tablet chunks as carefully as I can to try to keep it as one piece as possible.
Yeah, well,
Or
it's one
failing that,
solid piece, but it looks like it was intentionally cut down the middle to
it
split
was
it.
it was like faced.
Yeah, let me show you here.
Okay. Got it.
And you turn it over in your hand, and you see like there are intentional like chisel marks, hammer strikes on it, like someone was trying to break this apart. But the rough edges have been smoothed over by the eons of sand blowing over it, and you're able to faintly make out the words. As you're still using comprehend languages, when you touch it and you pick it up, the words kind of shift in front of your eyes and change into a language that you do recognize.
Dude, is that written in Hindi?
I don't know what it was. I googled Sanskrit and that's what came up.
Yeah, close-ish. I don't know if it's accurate, but
I don't know. It works. It looks different.
yeah.
Okay. Key or spell where dark ones dwell, death's own hand, neath cursed withered might, sorcerer flight, pathway shown to dust of bone.
There might be another
Yeah,
tablet
so-
somewhere else if he got broken in half.
Well, somebody wrote down the, or no, we not wrote down. We still have the pages of the other riddles, the information.
Yeah, put it in campaign materials.
I'd like to ask for that real quick. I don't remember what exactly they said, but I don't know if this is a part of the same thing or what.
I don't think it's part of the same thing. This tablet references something else. Well, it's the same culture, sure. Do we want to talk to this priest guy?
They reach steady. Okay, yeah, that's.
Oh yeah,
not
you
it.
could try casting
down.
Speak with Dead.
But on
Wait, we can talk with the dead now?
whispers.
We always
Okay,
could,
yeah,
I
no,
just
this
had to
is
have it
different.
prepared.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this is referencing, but it was something important enough that they intentionally destroyed it to try to hide what information is on here.
Should we ask him where the rest of the tablet is? Or is it
I
just
would
too shattered to
love-
read? Is that what it is?
No, it's what is here is legible, but it's only half the information.
It's like been broken in half or something like that. I mean, Speak with Dead is a good idea. What better way to get information than from somebody that was alive at that time period?
Would you be able to
If he's gonna
understand
give
him?
it to us. Yeah.
Comprehend languages works with the vocal, right? It's like you get the literal meaning.
Yeah, but you can only
I
cast
have
it on
to go double check.
yourself.
I mean, I've already cast comprehend languages on myself, which means I could still understand what he is saying.
Yeah, but would he understand Cardinal?
True.
Do I have to speak it? Oh fuck.
The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew.
How old is common?
Not old enough.
Well, common or I mean, I doubt he would know how to speak dwarf.
Well,
His
you could
tongues.
you
Or
could
draconic.
shotgun your languages. See if it responds to anything you know.
No, I could cast tongues as well. I just didn't have it prepared, so I need flash recall, switch out one of the others. No healing word.
What if I need to cut my other hand off?
Do it.
Then die. Swiss knife cleric. Okay. So I'm gonna cast tongues, and then I'll cast speak with dead.
Are both of them are
Nope. They're not
no
concentration.
concentration? Fuck you.
They both last an hour. But we only have 5 questions, so be smart.
Where's the
about
rest of the tablet?
I assume you're bringing the head back over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go grab the head and put it back in place.
Oh, where's the rest
Well,
of the tablet?
before you cast Speak with Dead, we need to come up with our questions.
Yeah, we don't want to be like that one movie.
Yeah.
Was that a
Does
question?
that count as a question? Yes. No.
Where's the rest of the tablet? What is it we need to know about where we're going? I can't remember.
Or just what did it say on the tablet? If he's
Oh yeah, we
carrying
could
it,
do
you'd
what
be
did
able to
it
read
say
it,
on the
maybe able to
tablet.
just know it. So I would try starting with what did the tablet say? If he doesn't know, then where's the other bit? We have those riddles. He may know the solution or be able to fill in the rest of those because we only have part of them.
How do we get him to fill that?
If we show him them, he may be able to just tell us what the full riddles are.
You have to
Like,
phrase it
what
as a question.
do you know the full? It's like, do you know what these are?
Yeah, but what if he
You're
just
just gonna
Yeah,
says
but
say
then the
yes?
answer is yes.
Or
You have to be very specific in your wording because you only have 5 questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can you tell us
What's your
the
favorite
entirety
color?
of this passage?
Yes, I can
Yes,
Yes.
tell
and
you.
tell us.
Not that the DM would ever
No, the
fuck around with an answer like
question would
that.
be, what is the entirety of this thing?
There you go.
A riddle. Guys, I swear to God. This is
Well, that
as we're
depends
talking
on
about
how much the fucking DM wants to be like, "Nyeh."
a little bit.
Does he want to progress the plot? Yes or no?
I have an idea of how the plot was going to progress, and I did not bank on Speak with Dead, so...
Always
Forcing and
destroying
chopping
his
their hand
plans.
off.
You know us using comprehend languages to, try to read a ancient chaotic piece of paper, throwing people off of boats. Now we're just trying to talk with the one dead guy who may actually talk with us rather than try to age us to death.
So we have 2 questions so far. What tablets second?
Well,
Yeah.
2 and a conditional.
Yeah, do we need to find out which of these places? Because wasn't there 2 places that they could have been?
The Black Tower and the Black Pyramid.
Yes.
Right, so we
Yeah,
need to
but
know if they...
the
which one we
portal
need to go
itself
to.
would be so new that he wouldn't have known about it. That wouldn't be during his time.
If we're seeking a pharaoh, I think we can assume it's the pyramid.
Well, we're seeking wherever the portal is, and that would be where the undead guy took over. Right?
Which undead guy is the question?
It could be any of a number of places. We just have
There's
2
so
likely
many.
choices.
Well, the let me go through the notes.
It's just like
It's
the
not
same
Cetra the
situation that we had
Undying,
in Naggaroth,
imperishable.
where we knew it was somewhere there, but none of us ever thought that it could be in Grand, of all places, and then below a cult, a mage tower. What was it? So, yeah.
Okay,
We know
so...
Cetra is the ever-living pharaoh. We know that much. The ever-living
Yeah.
pharaoh still waits, but not
But
in the way
he
that many
got
believe.
taken out by the new undead who brought in Zeke, right?
Not
Or
We
am
have
I
no idea.
misunderstanding that?
We have no idea. We just know that there is a portal or some sort of focus of power increasing Zinch's hold on the world. That's all we know about it. We can't
Maybe we
be.
can ask if Zinch had a portal to this world. Where would it be?
He might know. I mean, if we
Oh,
have
give us your best
extra
guess,
questions.
homie.
All right, I think we should go.
All right, I'm gonna do the.
So Cardinal
Setup.
is the one asking the questions. Everybody else keep your mouth shut.
It's terrible.
Okay, so you cast Speak with Dead, and there's kind of like a swirl of magical energy that comes in and just fills the corridor that you're in. And you watch the energy kind of come into the chest and move into the head, and the eyes kind of glow with that baleful necrotic energy, and it rotates slowly to look up at Cardinal.
What did the tablet you hold say?
The jaw starts moving as it answers, but the voice that comes out is kind of disjointed, like it's almost like it's delayed. Tablets. Don't read. Don't know.
Where is the broken half of the tablet?
City Kings? Across the desert?
Say that again. Out of character, Sea Kings
City-
across the
City
desert?
Kings
City
across the
Kings
desert.
across the desert.
Across the desert. Okay.
It'd be Kemri, right?
Yes, sir.
Hemry's the
If
country.
Zinch had a portal to enter this realm, where would it be?
Zinch. I don't know Zinch.
Tell us everything in detail about what happened to you.
Not a question.
Thanks.
Can you?
Which side are you on?
I'm on my side. You said it as a question.
Put the qualifying words in front of what you said.
Could you tell us what the last thing you remember happening to you is?
Running, screaming, crashing waves, pain, blackness.
So he
Yeah.
died in there. And that is number 5.
And then the light goes out.
What do I remember about the crashing wave thing? Was there a tsunami that attacked? This is why I wanted to research what happened here. Was there a tsunami that attacked this part of the world? What the fuck was it?
I think he said that it
there's
looked like a
still
tsunami.
like there's the watermarks
Mhm.
with how high they're up on the buildings. Like the conclusion that's easily come to is that the city was destroyed by a tsunami.
And we have no contextual clues or mythical reports or whatever of what could have caused the tsunami. Was it Nagash bringing the undeath? Was that what killed the city? This is why lore is important, guys.
Mhm.
I said
We don't need to go
library.
to the
You all
library,
said
Cardinal.
let's skip it.
We don't need to go to the library, Cardinal. It's fine. We'll just go there. Ask the guy. Well, the guy's fucking dead.
Well,
Let's look around for
doesn't-
if there's anybody else.
well, he doesn't know if the tablet's around because it probably happened after he died. So can we look for the other parts of the tablet?
I don't think we're gonna find them here, but we can try to find other skeletons or something. Maybe.
I don't think other skeletons will solve our problem. I mean, I don't think they're going to know any more than this guy. By the way, Cardinal, do you relay what he's saying to us? Because you're the only one who can
Yes.
understand him.
Yes,
Okay.
I will tell you after this whole thing, and I kick his stupid little corpse. I mean, I'll tell you.
The
Well-
little head goes poo 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 poo.
He just football his head.
So this guy was carrying a tablet he couldn't read.
Mm-hmm.
So
He was running from something, probably the tsunami that killed him.
yeah,
He said
but
something about city kings across the desert.
Couldn't
Yeah, about
read
where the
or
other
the
half
second
was.
half is.
couldn't read or didn't want to read or was instructed not to.
He just said couldn't read. He didn't give me specifics.
so
Can we
that tells
infer which
me
direction he was running from?
The way the body was laid out is, like if you're looking at the skeleton, you can see that there are cracks in the ribs. He's up against a pillar. The body was facing north.
So he most likely came from the south.
Potentially.
He also
but
died in a
waves could have
tidal
knocked his
wave.
body around.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
there's
he would
no
have been
way to
thrown
tell.
around.
Yeah, never
Question: this place, it was a temple, right?
Yes.
mind.
A temple to who? Or what kind of temple?
That temple would have been to the gods of the Naggaroth. They have their own pantheon.
Okay.
Would there be like a library kind of area that might have something in it?
Calgar was very thorough in his search. He did find evidence of scrolls, but anytime he picked one up to look at it, it just crumbled to dust in his hands.
Okay. Well,
Booty's being a smartass in the chat.
well, should we? I don't know. Head to the library or do something else? What should we do?
Somebody go secure the fucking camels first.
Well, no, I don't think we're in a rush right now.
We're not? Okay, then
Let's-
I'm gonna ask. Should we spend
then
a
let's-
week here?
Let's go to this library.
Okay.
I
I was just...
am wary about how much information it will potentially actually have, but it's worth a shot.
I'll take
I will
some
just remind you
contextual
that
clues.
you were told that the Dark Elves were up in this area.
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can help us.
How about this? Since we're not in any danger, we can split up, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Somebody...
go. I am voting for this library. I'm heading that way. You can go deal with the Elky.
I'll meet you that way. Eventually.
If you're gonna meet with
Right.
a criminal element, I should probably go with you since I speak their lingo.
Okay.
I'm gonna side-eye Ezekiel. Do we want to request Rahim to make that amulet to protect against scrying?
Figure out how much it costs. But again, I will point out that the scrying part of the effect of magic on the bracelet doesn't affect me anymore. It's just the curse.
Could stop the queen from scrying on you, but okay.
I don't think she needs to scry.
Well, just to clarify something, he can still scry on you.
Right.
right? It's just now you've got that. You actually have to take the test to see if you notice being scryed on or not.
Right.
Otheria, can you stop by the mosque and ask order and just find out how much it will cost for somebody?
Another thing is, yes, keep going.
Sorry. Either I was cutting out or you were cutting out on me. You were asking me to do something?
Could you head to the Mosque of the Eternal Flame, ask that priest to make that amulet, or to ask how much it costs?
I mean, I can.
Thank you.
It's kind of interesting you want me to do that, but okay.
Okay. You know what, guys? The next person to question.
What?
Kick your ass.
I don't know what you're talking about. Only one person's questioned you so far.
You know what?
Well,
Y'all do whatever you want. I'm heading to the fucking elves, okay?
All right, I'm headed to the elves too.
I'm going to the
I kind
library.
of wanted to go to the elves.
Then go to the elves. I
Then
don't
come on.
care.
I'll do it all.
I'm going to the
myself.
library. You deal with the Elgate.
Okay, let's deal with the elves first. So you get up to where you're basically directed to go. Let's get you all to roll perception.
Perception and this one. Nope.
Okay.
6, 11, 17, and 5.
Mm-hmm. So, patience, Amber, patience. So as you're working your way through the Drown Quarter, you're catching glimpses every now and then of, like, someone scrounging for whatever scraps they can. A couple people, like, huddle in the corner. As you walk by, they kind of, like, shrink back into the shadows, trying to get as far away from you as they possibly can. And after about, like, say, half hour of searching, Cardinal, you hear something. And what you hear is a whistling sound of a dagger shrieking past your ear and strikes the ground right in front of you. And a voice laughs. It says, I thought I was done with you folks.
Oh, not this fucker.
Is it fucking turn around? Is it Heartrender?
It's him and 4 friends.
If I had known it was you,
There's coincidence, and then there's whatever the fuck this is. So, tell me why I'm not killing you at this very moment.
Tobias laughs at that.
I'm honestly a little disappointed I'm not there now.
Because we want to hire you.
Huh.
Or at least one of your friends.
I'd prefer one of your friends.
And who is it you want dead?
I want information. I don't want them dead.
He does want
Oh,
them dead. He
you-
wants to do it himself.
When the fuck
You
did Ezekiel
wounded
become in
me.
charge? I thought you weren't asking questions over the table.
We were going here, so It's my nemesis.
So you're coming to search for assassins, and you don't want us to assassinate anybody. You just want information. There's 1,000 thieves in this quarter, and you come looking for us. Why us in particular?
Because I feel like we feel like you likely wouldn't be tied to the person that we're hoping to get as much information on as possible.
He's powerful. Magically, politically. We need you to not be detected, or whoever we send in.
What kind of information are you looking for?
The kind that can bring him down.
I want to know his routines, his business, shipments that are less guarded than others. The whole 9 yards. Anything that we could use against him.
Systematic
Destroy him.
existential
Slowly.
torture.
That.
If you see an opportunity to take out some of his people and line your pocket, by all means. But the person themselves is off limits.
And how are you planning to pay for this service?
What's the going rate for something of that wide of a net?
Well, you also haven't told me who you're going after yet.
For now, assume it's someone at the top of this city. And then, if we like the rates,
That's not how
we'll tell you
friends
more.
operate.
Friends.
We had something in Naggaroth. I know you felt the connection.
Oh yeah, especially when it broke when you abandoned us.
I didn't abandon you. I just recognized that if I had stuck around, being outnumbered 5-1, that I would have died. Was I wrong in that assumption?
I personally don't blame you for it. You've already
Well,
seen that we can beat
la-dee-da.
you anytime, any place, so
How much?
Archibald
Who?
Fairchild,
Really?
really.
How much you got?
On me personally?
Because I will level with you. I will actually be honest here. We have looked into what it would take to get access to his information because he's the most heavily guarded man in this city. To be able to get in without being detected, get what you're looking for, and get out, I don't think you can afford it.
Throw a number at us.
$15,000.
Gold?
No, copper, jackass.
15,000 gold, so that'd be 150 platinum? No,
No. Add a
1,500
zero.
platinum.
1,500 platinum.
platinum.
Yeah. It's nice and simple. You just add a zero for every denomination.
It's like the metric system, but with money.
Which makes sense! God. Ugh. If only real
Okay,
life worked
fine.
like that.
15k is a little bit out. Just a little bit.
Understand what you're getting there. That is the 4 of us doing this job. That is the only way it's working.
How long are you going to be in the city for?
Depends on if you pay us or not.
So you're just going to randomly move on?
If we need to. We go where we're needed or where the money's at. He kind of like looks over at Tobias and says, or where Kane needs us and sends us.
What about a favor? If we do a favor for you, can we bring that cost down?
What favor do you think you could accomplish for us we cannot do for ourselves?
I don't know. It's just asking.
There's nothing I need right now. Except money.
Do you have any information that you might know about, or can you infer from this? Like, if I showed you a riddle, are you good at riddles? What is that gasp? I don't know this person.
That is a gasp of disapproval. That is Cardinal going,
That's like math.
no, shut up. I can do riddles. I love riddles.
Depends on the complexity of the riddle. Depends on what language it's in. Depends how much I like you. Depends how much you pay me.
I'm not trusting his brain with riddle.
Why don't you like him?
Because I got good instincts.
I tried to kill the dwarf. Speaking of which, where is that short, ugly bastard?
Dead. Don't you worry about it.
No,
behind you.
I know he's not dead. I know he's not
I don't
dead.
care.
Well, we've got your price. If
yeah,
you
I
need
don't
a favor
believe that's any of your
to
information.
bring the price down, think of it just as an option. And we'll send a message, track you down if we get it, if we get the money together.
There is another option. We do it for 7,500 and we kill everyone inside that building. I mean,
I like the way he thinks.
everyone inside that building.
I like the way he thinks.
Including Archibald?
Everyone inside that building.
Now you're talking.
You hear a whisper on the wind in Calicar's voice. It's black.
I can't hear that whisper.
Oh, sorry. It was, I like this plan. But
I'm gonna share a look with Ezekiel, like,
yeah.
we could swing 7,500.
If you kill Archibald, I need the ring on his hand.
Call it 8,000. It's yours.
Half now and half when the job is done.
No.
But then how do we know you'll actually do the job?
He'll do it.
Do it.
He knows. He nods at Tobias.
We can swing it. I look at the others.
All hand, Cardinal.
Save that. I'll just give the guy fucking 8,000. Don't show him your money.
It's personal to me, so I'll hand you 85 platinum and 600 gold.
You can add. Don't make me do
That's
the math.
that's
Just add it to the party loot afterwards. You dick. Just remind me later so I can add it to the party loot.
That's 1,450 gold.
Yeah.
Why did I in charge of inventory? Okay, we can give you that much.
Above the table,
Just
how
eight-
much money does the party have?
We
I have no idea what's in the party loot at the moment.
9,243. So if we give him 8,000, we are left with 1,243. And then if we
I'll-
add in Ezekiel's 269.
If we're going for it, Tobias says, if we're going for it, I'll chip in as well.
How much? How much are you chipping?
500 gold.
Okay, I'll add that to the party loot. So now we're at 3,000 in the party loot. I have paid him his 8,000. Okay, no more math.
How long would this job take? When do you expect completion?
Cardinal, you can add an extra 50 gold into the party loot.
We want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. It's going to take a few days.
I say we take a little bit of time in this, enjoy the view, you know.
When we need to collect the ring, that's good enough for me. Gives us time to get more information on where we're going. I think
agree.
And if
I might like you.
if Archibald escapes,
He won't.
He's not a regular human.
Do we look like regular killers?
Arrogance of
from-
elves.
From what
Arrogance
I
of
can gather,
skill.
if he got away, you'd probably follow. The job is to get him killed, right?
Everyone will
Follow
die.
through.
where do
Yeah.
we meet when it's all said and done?
Actually, you think we might want to be out of the city before the mass murder happens, in case we get blamed for it, guys?
I don't know. It's both are valid, but I kind of want to see the results from afar. But
All we need is an alibi.
Is there an inn across the street? Does anybody remember?
We
No,
don't
that
want
makes
to be
us so
across the street.
obvious.
We just sit there drinking. Have
Yep.
tea. I'm not gonna go back to where I was, but we'll be
Think
in
being
plain view
across
of
the street
we'll be in
is-
plain view of plenty of people at the time.
I'm just imagining Tobias sitting, looking on, and just, I dedicate these kills to Cain.
they're going to
Question for
dedicate
the
it
DM.
above the table.
Mm-hmm.
If we paid for assassins, would we get jailed, or would the assassins get jailed if we were found out, hypothetically?
You don't know.
Okay.
I think it really depends on the city too.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on the assassins.
Yeah,
I have to say, I love how we're using my nemesis to kill your nemesis.
Big
To
brain
be
moves.
fair, you're more of his nemesis than he is yours.
Every
Fair
LG is
point.
my nemesis. Just some less than others.
Right, but you are a particular dwarf that caused him a lot of strife.
Uh-huh.
So Heartbender looks at you and says, "There's a park north of the Drowned Corner, one section east. In the center of that park is a large oak tree. When the job is done, you will find a dagger buried to the hilt. We will be there the next day."
Perfect.
Understand.
Looks like we're going to be park sitting. And you say a couple of days?
Like I said, I want to make sure you get your money's worth.
Good enough.
Beggar to help means
if-
job is done.
If after all of this shenanigans is said and done, somebody needed to get a hold of you to procure your services for something completely different, what would the best way to be going about that?
Magic? Sending?
Good enough.
Yeah, Cardinal's seen his face and knows who he is, so she could do it anytime.
Oh,
Just
I'm not
above
talking
board,
about
since
when
I'm not there.
Cardinal's there. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about when Cardinal's there.
So the park he was talking about is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And
Sending.
where was Archibald's warehouse or his office? Right there.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'll say, all right. I think the
Actually, looking at the
Well-
map, it's let's go with the big building.
big building. Okay.
Well, shall we leave this and they're in their capable hands and go do research?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go
To the
somewhere.
library.
Don't tell him where we're going.
Well, speaking of the library, let's switch over to the studious dwarf. So you come in. From your perspective, libraries look like libraries. You've got old humans bent over with age and putting books away on shelves, more focused on their job than on you. Um, what is it you're looking for?
I'm looking for anything and everything I can find that they may have about Kemri and Nehekara, because I'm not going in there expecting to find very much. I don't want to try to look for something too specific and just miss something else.
Okay. Nice and vague. That makes my life so much easier.
Um,
Roll an investigation for me.
I'll try to
The
find
heck?
something about the riddles since I have them on hand, and I'll use that as a starting point.
Okay. Roll to investigate.
1d4. Low, but still 19.
Okay. So you start by looking for the riddles, and you're actually fairly successful. Like you're flipping through, and you find. It takes a few hours of searching, but you do find a book that is like along the spine says translations of La Misage, which is the scholar that wrote out what you had, and they've actually got a full version of the fragment that you have. And what it reads is before the first king wore the golden mask, before the black pyramid cast its shadow upon the sand, the web was spun. 1,000 paths through the stars, and these one led to eternal dominion. Yet the hand that reached for it was not steady. The Lord of Masks whispered riddles to the Seeker, and the Seeker believed them true. The sands turned black, the river turned red, the gates of the west opened, but none returned. And so the web was sundered, and the thousand paths became one road of dust and bone leading only to the hollow throne. Yet still the eye watches, not in the days of the priest king, not in the nights of the usurper, but in the age of the great conflagration, when the sky burns and the sea boils, shall the forgotten door be found. The seeker shall rise again, and the Lord of Masks shall laugh.
You are 1,000% gonna need to write that out in chat. Oh, not that chat. That chat works too, I mean.
Oh, we'll put it in both.
As for the riddle about the ever living pharaoh, you find references here and there. Basically, really just solidifies what you'd already believed, that it's pointing to Cetra. You get a bit more information. You find that Cetra was actually the first king that united the Naggaroth Empire. And towards the end of his life, he really became obsessed with the idea of eternal life and a rule without end, to the point where he formed the mortuary cults that began the traditions of mummification. And there's the odd hint that there's some magic that was woven into those rituals that might have actually succeeded in that eternal life. Um, the more you delve into Cetra, you find that, as far as what's written here, his tomb was sealed with some of the most potent um, runes and protections and wards that anyone's ever seen, up to the point that this was written.
Mhm. Okay, so I'll compile all the information I can, and then assuming how long does it take? Am I going to be done by the time they come over to the library, or am I going to still be looking around?
You're gonna still be looking by the time they come over. Like, it's taking you several hours.
Yeah, so when they get over, I'll catch them up to speed on everything I've found.
Ever guess who we found?
I don't know anybody in this city, so
That's where you're wrong.
oh, and how, just for general question, how is Furley as her presence taken in a library?
She's getting, like, side eyes. People are not sure how to handle the fact that there's a dragon inside.
Dragon
Fairly
hanging out with a
consistent.
door.
Yeah, it's fairly consistent with how she's perceived literally everywhere you go.
Okay, just wanted to check. All right, so yeah, back to you, Tobias. Sorry.
Oh, we ran into your old friend Heartrender.
Where?
Where they said the dark elves would be.
So he was the dark elves they were talking about.
Yeah, I was expecting anyone else, but
How did we find out where these dark elves were? Zeke's asking. I above the table know.
What do you mean?
How did we find out they were here?
Cardinal told us. She talked to someone?
Yeah. Why?
Who'd you talk to find out where the Dark Elves were?
The innkeep. I asked him where I could find people with great skills to acquire information.
So either we're really lucky, or every underground element of this city knows that those assassins are here, including anybody Archibald pays. We just blew 8,000 gold hoping they're able to do something that I doubt they're able to do.
Yeah, but it'll be fun to watch.
8,000 gold?
I look forward
think-
to the disappointment. It was well worth the money.
No, I think it'll be fun to watch no matter what happens. I'm kind of expecting
No matter what happens.
I'm
I'm
expecting
kind of expecting mixed results too. But like I said, like I've chided you before, it's a start, you know? I don't think this thing's gonna happen suddenly all at once and be finished.
For what? Which
we'll
Wazik
tell
among you
How
decided to pay
about-
8,000 gold for something?
We'll tell you
How-
later.
How about we don't talk about this in the middle of a library?
Yep. So what did you find?
We're whispering. It's a library, you gotta whisper.
We're
So
not
you
talking
found
about it.
the rest of the riddle?
Yes, they. We're talking later. I have found the rest of the riddle. I read them off the whole thing. I'm not going to sit here and go through that just for expediency's sake. And then after I read that off, and it appears that everything I'm finding here does point to the second page. Is talking about this Cetra the Imperishable. And some sort of mortuary cult where about everlasting life, which would explain the undead nature of the desert. But as for a location, it does say that his tomb was sealed and protected with very potent runes and magical traps and layers.
Now, reading this riddle or this full thing, but in the age of the great conflagration, when the skies burn and the sea boils, shall the forgotten door be found. Does that mean us? We're gonna find this door?
I assume it could be anybody who's technically looking for it, but if this Everchosen is truly trying to destroy the world, then I wouldn't be terribly surprised if the door was visible or found by someone during this time.
I don't think it specifically points to any person. The way of prophecy. It could be us, it could be anybody else. We just gotta find the clues to the path in the rest of it and hope that this time is the one that it's referring to. Otherwise, you'll go crazy.
Or it
So,
could just be something metaphorical, and we'll find it anyway. Who knows with these things?
so this is saying to me that Zinch basically led this guy down the wrong path. And that's where the portal may be, maybe?
I think so.
I don't think
The
Zinch would have had a direct hand in this. This was brought. The destruction of Nehekara itself was brought about by someone else. I'm going to flip pages to Archaon the Black. He's the reason why the world has undead in the first place.
But
Not
doesn't
quite.
the Lord of Masks refer to Zinch?
Just a quick correction there. It was Nagash.
Yeah,
Archon was more
Nagash,
like
sorry.
a
Yeah,
lieutenant.
Archaon was the follower. Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you for pointing that out.
I think that Nagash might be. I don't know if it's Nagash or whatever.
Well, while we're here at the
The-
library, why don't we try and find something on the Lord of Masks? Confirm whether it is Zinch or not.
Good idea,
We could
Ezekiel.
look.
I hate it.
Well, I was looking for information about these riddles, so
I'll go
now we have
ask a
something else to look.
librarian. Hey, do you have anything on the Lord of Masks?
Lord of Masks?
Mm-hmm. You ever heard of it? Something to do
No.
with like Khemri and Black Pyramid and all that jazz?
We've got information on the Black Pyramid, and we've got information on Khemri. Black Pyramid, if I remember correctly, that is where the Archlich Nagash rose to power. He's the one that cast a spell, or multiple spells, that corrupted the dead into living again. As for Khemri itself, well, their history spans thousands of years. You'd have to be more specific about what you're looking for.
Well, I'm looking for something from when before the first king wore the mask.
Before the first king would refer to Cetra, he didn't wear a mask.
What about from before the time when the Black Pyramid existed?
The Black Pyramid was erected around the time of Cetra.
Above the table, I think this is basically saying that Zinch was playing these people from the beginning. That's what it's saying.
I think so too.
So Zinch is basically tricking these people into doing these things.
And that this
Maybe.
fucking somebody or whatever undead thing is waiting at the end. That's gonna be our enemy. And the portal or the thing that we're looking for lies.
Are you showing the librarian this whole passage?
Why not?
I wasn't talking to him.
Okay. He reads over it, and he kind of like takes a minute. He's thinking. He goes, "There's so much that has been lost from that time. Like those people, we barely understand their language. What you have here Yeah, it's from the books claiming it's a translation. How accurate that translation is, I can't say for certain. Were the people writing it trying to be, I don't know, do they think that they could see the future? Maybe. Did they think they had the answers for everything? Who knows? You can take this literally, or it can just be a nice story. I don't have that information for you. Part of the joys of that we have here of deciphering all this ancient Naggaroth text is you make it what you want it to be. You're muted, booty.
No, I took a deep breath because I didn't know what to say.
Okay.
Well, you've been helpful.
I do try.
On a 3, I rolled a 16 for deception, so I don't know if he believes me that he's been helpful.
Sure, he believes you.
Perfect. And I will go back to the group, and I said, well, that was a load of bumpkus.
I feel like it's pretty clear to me what we need to do. Find the fucking pyramid, where the pharaoh is, where his throne probably is. Don't take the throne, because the throne is probably cursed. Kill the fucking undead sand guy. Find the portal.
Sounds good. Should we find an inn for the night?
New inn.
Can't go back to the old one.
GM, I'd like to do an insight check on Ezekiel. Just a tone read.
Okay.
Because Cardinal's getting some vibes, and I don't think she likes it at all. That's an 18.
Zeke, let's go with persuasion or deception. Your choice. Do it privately.
He's hitting
What
his
are you
rebellious
trying
teenager
to
phase.
pick up on?
I'm trying to see if he's being on purpose this like jaded, this flippant when the rest of us are like so invested. Because it's kind of pushing Cardinal's buttons all the wrong ways. It's like all of us are putting an effort and he's just like, yeah, of course. He's being kind of facetious about it.
So,
I don't know, man.
I'll say, because we rolled the same. On the whole matter of fact, as far as the assassins, you probably, like, he's not trying to hide it. He doesn't think they're going to be successful. They'll probably do something. It'll probably be cool. And we're probably going to make enemies of Heartrender again because he's probably going to lose some friends and Archibald's going to get away. As far as everything else, he's trying his best to just move forward. He just doesn't know what to do. So he's trying to be helpful, but he isn't in a good mood, I guess.
Okay, that's better than what I was thinking. That's good. That's a good roll. Good roll. Good to know.
Like, yeah, he's just not in a good mood. You wouldn't be either.
No, I expect, but if he was like being malicious about it, I don't know if Cardinal would take
I
that.
say malicious compliance, as in, like, I get it. We got to do this. I'm not happy about it.
I can work with that. Cardinal's about to get real angry.
It's everybody
But
has beat into him that he's being selfish, so he's like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll do it. And when it doesn't work, I'm not even going to say I told you so. I'm just going to laugh because I knew it. as far as going forward on our mission, that's what Zeke wants to do. He wants to continue to pursue chaos because that is where he is most likely to get some sort of leeway from his patron.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so you guys are heading out of the library. You're going to go find an inn, correct? Okay. So you step out of the library. Just in the open area in front of you. Othira, you feel it first, and it's also a bit of a smell that just kind of hits that nostalgia for you. You start to smile as you see on the stonework in front of you, these burning lines start to etch themselves in, and it swirls around and forms an infernal design before a portal opens up, and with it comes that more powerful acrid stench of like sulfur and burning iron. It's more of a scar upon reality, and something from beyond steps through. Uh, Clad in jagged black plate that's seared with runes of binding, crimson skin lined with dark scars, each a mark from an old campaign. Chains coiled like serpents around his forearms, rattling softly, while his beard, a nest of writhing barbed tendrils, twists as if tasting the dry desert air. Molten yellow eyes search the crowd and meet yours. There's a burn in there that's not just deference, but something older, closer to kinship. You recognize him. It's Marduk. It's a bearded devil, and the closest thing you have to a friend. Strides forward, stops at the edge of the stairs, and falls to his knees, pressing a clawed fist to the scorched earth. He says, "My lady, I bring a gift, sent from the Iron Duke himself, in recognition of your campaign on Naggaroth. Yggdrasil has fallen, Dalmoth Kin is dead, and the Thunderlord ascends above all." And
He's so cool.
you remember, Naggaroth, none of the locals called it that. Their name was simpler, smaller, not worth remembering. It was a world ravaged by war and strife, oceans long since run dry, and its once verdant forests were reduced to ashen wastelands. You remember Dalmoth Kin, he was the usurper who wrenched the throne from his brother in fire and betrayal, his name written in the blood of his own kin. You remember the charge Despater had given you. Ensure Dalmoth's rule, not as a means to an empire, but as a catalyst for its destruction. Had his brother Varos held Yggdrasil, perhaps the Thunderlord's unification would have faltered, the stars left untamed. But Despater willed otherwise. The Thunderlord's empire will now be forged in ceaseless war, a crucible of conquest that will not end with one world, nor with time itself. It will bleed across the stars, an unbroken chain of battles waged until the last light of the universe flickered and died. That was true victory. Present reality snaps back to itself, and through the portal, two imps follow Marduk, struggling under the weight of your prize. It's a set of blackened armor that absorbs the light as much as it reflects it, and it calls to you. Your fingers reach out to brush the plates, and it almost feels like it shudders. You feel almost like there's a pulse. It's breathing. It's eager. It's waiting for you. It's testing you. But it has no choice. You take off your old plates, they fall to the ground, and the moment that ringing metal strikes, the armor lunges forward and wraps itself around you. You feel teeth and tendrils burying themselves into your skin, and you almost feel like a wooziness as some of your life force is drawn into the armor. And then you exhale, flexing your fingers as the plate settles. You feel a sense of eagerness and hunger in there. And then Marduk rises, and there's a glimmer in his eyes that, say, it's admiration, pride. And he just smiles and says, Despater has chosen well, Commander. And the title is different. You're no longer a lieutenant. Something greater.
Cool.
A mark of Despater's trust, a rare honor in the ranks of hell. Few in his service stand above you, and fewer still have claimed to earn his favor as you have. It's not just a promotion. It's a declaration of what you have become, what you were always meant to be. And you just smile, and like the armor settles into place, and a thought passes your mind. No, he's chosen correctly. Happy birthday. You
Yay.
get yourself a set of living armor.
Nice. When he like raises up, I have like a big smile on my face, which has never happened. And I clap, like I grab arms like the warriors thing, and I say in Infernal, Zentar Ixinziel Verzathra Zurakar. And then clap him on the shoulder. Which, for those of you that don't speak Infernal, above table, none of you would actually hear that. But because we're streaming, she basically says, "You always bring the right kind of fire with you, old friend."
And he
I'm so
responds in Infernal. I'm not trying to make it sound Infernal at all because fuck that shit.
Hey, it took
Says,
me a long time to get that.
and you always
I
lead
actually
us
did a
to the
pretty good
right.
job saying it too.
Yeah, says you always lead us to the right destruction. So
This one was beautifully wrought.
So just so everyone knows what this is, so living armor is +1 to the armor, so it's gonna be +1 plate. You have resistance to necrotic, poison, and psychic damage. Um, when you attune to it, it becomes symbiotic. The armor cannot be removed while you are attuned, and you cannot voluntarily end your attunement to it. The only thing that can stop the attunement is if you remove the curse. Um, there is a bit of a catch in that immediately after you finish any long rest, you must either feed half of your remaining hit dice to the armor, or take 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay. At the end of a long rest?
Yeah, so you do your long rest, you get the hit dice back, half of what you have rounding up goes into the armor.
Rounding up. Okay.
Yeah, but the trade-off is you're not automatically stuck with, since you can't take it off. You can't,
Yeah.
If you're, rather than sleeping
I can
in
now
an
sleep
armor
in my
and
armor.
getting that negative. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm so happy.
it's only your hit dice. It's not like you use them all the time.
But I think it's a good place to stop for tonight.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. Happy birthday.
Happy
Yep, happy
birthday,
birthday.
Amber.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
Big
appreciate
4-0.
the effort from your
Holy fuck, you
campaign
are
and
40.
your really fun.
Yeah, so I just want to say this again because I fucking love how it came out. Zentar Ixinziel Verzathra Zurakar. Like,
That just sounds cool. I dig it. Yep.
Ultimate nerd.
I'll have to post it in the chat for you because it looks so fucking cool too. Post it in this.
Yeah,
chat.
I wish I was like, as a person, more fluent in the Dwarven language so I could use it more often. I just know random words here and there.
That's all you need.
Imagine learning fictional languages.
I mean, people straight up learn Klingon. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not saying I
Klingon
wouldn't
was
do it.
made like I had to go through a bunch of iterations to get this because none of it sounded well. Like none of it sounded good. None of it I could say. And then this one is like a mix of I think it said like Latin, demonic, like what people think of demonic, and then something else. And then it even gave me like because I just put it into ChatGPT, so it gave me the meaning of each part of the word So then it actually hits what I wanted it to say. Pretty cool.
Now I do
Yeah, I
have
spent
to
like
ask.
10 minutes re-saying it over and over and over again.
I do have to ask, since there's one person here that understands Warhammer references. Nathan, did you understand any of what I said?
What, through the
description?
Kakara and
No. The
I don't know.
descriptions I was giving of the battle that Othira helped with.
A little bit, but for the most part, no.
Okay.
Like
I
it
just
sounded
have to
familiar, but
I
I
have to
couldn't
share
quite
it
place it.
because I'm just that level of nerd.
Uh-huh.
I always liked the lore attaching the Warhammer world to the 40k world. So essentially, the battle that they're referring to here is she helped install the warlord that caused the Emperor to go on his unification crusade. So Othira is effectively the cause
that
of
makes so
Warhammer
much
40,000.
sense. Oh my.
And I,
Okay, that
did you
makes
say
so
I'm a
much sense
commander now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, you're a step down
I'm
from the
commander.
generals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. After you said that. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
That one little
next
piece makes all the rest of it click. That is
next to
so
Wrath was
cool.
like the infernal version of Terra.
Uh-huh.
Hebrasil is
Okay.
actually High Brazil or Hive Brazil.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had to.
Yep. No, that's awesome. That is so cool.
It's good to
There's
see
yeah,
you.
like
Nerds.
that's the reason why the Emperor is going on his or made his plan to control the galaxy.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Anyways,
The gem of seeing is now up for grabs again.
Out of attunement slots?
Yeah.
Just
Man.
put it in
Oh,
the
I
party
can't
loot,
use
we'll
it. I've already got 3, and I like
Yeah.
my 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, if nobody's
now I
gonna
have a
take
20
it,
armor
I'll
class.
take it.
Go
Just
for
put
it,
it in the
buddy.
party loot. Not giving you.
I've
All
got
right,
it.
well,
I've got. When I
let's,
make your hand, I'll put the gem in the palm, and you can see through it.
He becomes Vecna.
Nathan, can you do our?
Outro?
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed playing this amazing chaos. Please give us a like and follow. And if you want to find out more, scroll down below. You'll find links to our Discord, YouTube, Azrael's TikTok, and Booty's Twitch. Our Discord is free and open to everybody. Just come in and hang out. We want to see you there. On our YouTube, you'll find all of our replays, usually 2 days after the session. And we're starting to get into YouTube Shorts. Azrael's TikTok, he does D&D, D&D TikToks, and has been expanding out into other stuff. So go check those out. They're all pretty cool. And then on Booty's Twitch, he usually streams a couple times a week, and again, he does a variety of things, and he's always really fun to hang out with. Go check him out. And you'll see us again this Sunday and next Wednesday, because this week we are skipping the Tuesday campaign. That is every other week. So you'll find that 2 weeks from now.